Mr Prime Minister, thank you for talking to FrankWarren.tv. We're privileged to have you here, but I'm just curious why you've taken time out of your last ever Labour conference as Prime Minister to come down and support Enzo Macronelli and Mark Hobson.
Well, I'm always into sport myself, even as a youngster, and we in the Labour Party we can punch a bit too. Just ask John Prescott, for example. So we do have in the cabinet. Always have had an interest in boxing.
Certainly, we've seen lots of press shots of you yourself playing football and being very nimble with your feet. You've mentioned John Prescott there, being very nimble with his hands. And what about yourself? Ever thought about taking up the sport?
Well, Cherie likes me to look my best at all times, so I'm not too sure do my nails any good. But maybe, this time next year, when I've got a bit more time on my hands, when I've handed over to Gordon, well, at least that's what he thinks, then maybe I may go to John Prescott and he can train me up a bit.
I was going to say that maybe John Prescott would be able to give you a little helping hand fighting Gordon off. I mean, you're not ready to give up that seat just yet, are you?
Well, not yet, and if Gordon thinks he's going to make a move perhaps later in this week or maybe even before the fight, then I will be consulting John for a few tips, yes.
And let's move on. We have the fight itself at the Manchester Evening Newsroom on the 14th of October. Will yourself and indeed John Prescott be able to come down and support, do you think, the Sports Network production?
Well, we hopefully will be there because as your Prime Minister, Tony Blair, I do like to support the biggest sporting events in this country, and this is one of the biggest. So me and John are hoping to be there on the big night.
And finally, Prime Minister, give FrankWarren.tv an exclusive. When do you think you will be standing down and handing over the reins?
Well, before I answer that one, can I give FrankWarren.tv an exclusive that we've decided at conference today that John Prescott is finally going to do something useful for transport. He's going to give up being an MP and become a traffic island.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
Oh, my pleasure.